Hi, good evening. This is Eric with American Business Systems. Want to welcome you to this afternoon's webinar. I know that there's a lot of people just joining us, so we're going to give a few minutes for folks to kind of get in and get settled in and kind of just let this list build here, because obviously I see a lot of people coming in and you may just now be hearing me. So I'm going to give everybody just a few seconds here before we actually start flipping through these slides this afternoon. But I do want to welcome those that are actually joining us this afternoon. I'm going to open up my attendee box and see who's all coming in here. Let's see who I got coming in. Right, there we go. All right, we got David. Good to see you, sir. Omar, good to see you. Stanley, Stephen, Fahad, good to see you. So folks, got a few more folks just about to file in here because we had to start right up at the start of the hour. So we'll give it just a few more minutes. Yep, here comes some more people here. So thank you. There's Kent coming in and Sri, good to see you. So we've got some folks that are coming on back in here. All right, folks, again, this is Eric. I'm with American Business Systems and certainly want to welcome you here this afternoon to our webinar. We've got a lot to impact and go through this afternoon, so I want to make sure that obviously one of the things that we want to make sure is that I'm being heard. So I'm going to show you how we're going to communicate that here in just a second. But today, folks, the webinar title and the topic is basically why some businesses fail and others succeed. Patrick and I are going to go through some tips, tricks and secrets here. We want to hear from you, so we want to see some of your questions as they come through during today's webinar. Folks, really, we want to know what makes someone fail at any business. So we wanted to kind of take it on a path that is questions that you certainly want to be able to ask, and we do want to go through that this afternoon. Let me make sure again that I'm being heard and that the slides are coming up, but if you want to we want to make sure we're being heard. So if you'll find that question box and just type in either your name or your city, your state, whatever, that just gives me an indication that there's some questions that are coming in and I get to see those. So Stanley, good to see you. And I do see Kent. So thank you for letting me know about that. Some others, if you don't mind popping in there, got a couple of folks that are there. Jennifer, good to see you. So Fahad, thank you for saying that. Selena, good to see you. And thank you. Omar, thank you so much. I appreciate all that. Well, folks, it does look like we're being heard. And so obviously, just a little housekeeping. It tends, whenever you're going through a webinar, sometimes obviously we're going through a whole hour. Some people like to tend to kind of move off or look back over and to do some things. So please stay right in with us today. We want to make sure that you get every bit of the webinar as we go through it. Now, folks, if you haven't met me yet, my name is Eric Ogea. I'm the Director of Research and Development here at American Business Systems. ABS has been around for 24.5 years. It's going to be amazing. Within 6 months now, we get to say that we've been around for 25 years. And that's a milestone, folks, especially in the world of business opportunities or franchises or anything else like that, to stay the tide, to weather the storms, and to go through so many changes, especially in medical billing. And to be around here for 24 years certainly does say something. So we're so grateful that you've come and joined us this afternoon. Folks, as you're doing your due diligence, obviously, you can go look anywhere on the internet, but obviously you want to go to some good places. The Better Business Bureau is one of those places you can find and go into and review. Obviously, you can look at and talk with some of our licensees, and so we encourage you to be able to do that. Our whole business, our whole system is built around what you're looking at right now. It is the iClaim and EMRX platform, and we're going to kind of touch base on that just a tad today from a different look, a different view, why people fail at certain businesses and that they don't communicate all of this right properly. So we're going to kind of take you through all of that this afternoon. If you're planning on and you're trying to get to one of our training workshops, we have one coming up July the 30th through August the 3rd. It is filling up fairly quickly now. We're just right in the middle of June and getting things in order, and we're going to fill up this class, I know, pretty quickly here. So we would love to see you. I see some people on here who have already shown some interest to be able to attend with us, so hopefully we'll be able to see you and work you through all of that. Another part of due diligence is to go through our virtual brochure, and there you can find out what's included, how much you can make, how do I get clients, can I learn billing, And then through all of these little representatives right here of meeting your business coach, that would be someone like me or George or Adam or Jason or Dirk, one of us here, we're here to help you coach yourself along through all the due diligence. Review our research guide, watch our live and being on the live webinars as you are right now, and the recorded webinars, speak with other ABS owners, business coaches there that will be able to help you out. The last one down there at the bottom, live system demo. If you haven't seen one of those, folks, again, I want to encourage you to do that. And if you want to, come out here and visit with us. Just get your funding together and attend one of our live trainings, and we'd be happy to have you. Let me share with you who our founder and our CEO is of American Business Systems, and that's Patrick Phillips. Patrick has been around from the very beginning, obviously 24 plus years, because he and his wife actually did billing, and so it's good to have him leading the way here for us. Not only is he the chairman of the board of the MIRMA Association, but he's a member of the editorial board of the Billing and Coding magazine, and he's written these books. And some of you have already seen some of these books and maybe even read some of these books. But the one that's coming out here very soon is 9 Ways Physicians in Private Practice Let Money Slip Through Their Fingers. And so, without further ado, I'm going to ask Patrick to join me this afternoon, because I know we've got a lot that we want to try to cover. Patrick, it's good to see you, sir.
Hey, good to see you, Eric.
Yep,
man,
absolutely.
My lighting's kind of low here today. Let me see if I can crank that up a little bit. There we go.
You're doing well. All right, so Patrick, obviously you and I kind of talked about this earlier, and we've been talking about this for the last couple of days, but really what it gets down to is people are really asking, why does anybody fail in our business, or really in any business?
Yeah, I mean, we try to be as upfront and honest about our opportunity as we possibly can, folks, by telling you the facts about it. I mean, we're educating you here today, right? You may watch this webinar today and decide this is not for me. And by the way, we do some due diligence on you as well, and we're looking for people who are serious about starting their own business. Now, whether it's full or part-time, doesn't matter, because you can move into full-time once you get a business going. But we want somebody that's got some, some business. Let's put it this way: they have a heart for wanting to start a business and run a business. You may not have any background or training. That doesn't matter. What we're looking for is somebody that can follow instructions, follow a system, and everybody who does succeeds. And those who don't, well, they fail.
Well, let's talk about, and again, what we're going to kind of go through. And Patrick, why don't you kind of set the stage, because these, at least the 4 topics and the 4 tips or secrets or tricks, these are basically based upon previous people asking questions. So I'm going to kind of let you talk through these, because this is a good way to kind of start off everything here this afternoon.
Yeah, so we're going to go into detail about all these guys, but basically the tips are don't reinvent the wheel. Make sure that your product has differentiation. Is that the right word? Differentiation. Yes. And don't. And of course, tip number 3 is that you don't know what you don't know. Now, you'll see when we get to that what we're talking about there. But hey, if you don't know, you don't know, right? And we want you to know. That's why we try to educate you on these webinars. And then last but not least, we added one from the last time we did this, Eric. This is a great one you came up with. Do not fear failing. That is one of the reasons people fail, is the fear of the failure. So we'll address that today too.
You bet. So let's start off with this first one. I knew, Patrick, I know anybody that tries to get into billing, a lot of people try to, and this is where a lot of people who actually come out of training, they've heard everything that we've said. We give them a roadmap of what to do, but because of maybe past experiences of being in sales or marketing, or they've worked with doctors in the past, or they've never worked with doctors, and they just think, hey, I think I can figure out a better way than what ABS taught me. This is where a lot of troubles start to happen right here.
Yeah, and you hit it on the nail on the head there, Eric. It does come from people who have too much background in business or sales, because they think they know the best way to build a business, and we're the ones that have learned after almost 25 years how to do that. So we're gonna step by step go through why it is that some people go out there and, well, they create a bike with square wheels, because they don't know what we know about how to market to doctors. And let's face it, all it boils down to is when you start a business, you got to have a client. You got to get one, right? And then you got to go from there and build this thing. Well, this one builds automatically, Eric, from
Right.
just the referrals. Doctors talk to one another and they refer one another. And the reason that people don't have to invent the wheel, reinvent it, is because we already have. Look, all of these boxes illustrated here are really services that you can offer to the doctor that we've come up with over the years. We've added one, and then 2 years later we added another, and so forth, until now we've got like 7 or 8 there that you can offer to doctors. You don't have to offer any of those, but we have certainly put in a lot of time figuring out how to market to doctors, how to get clients, and, well, how to make a success out of this particular business.
You're right, Patrick. And you know what the great thing about it is, and I know we'll talk about this a little bit later, but yesterday I was able to do a demo for one of our medical billing companies. And towards the end of doing that demo, we actually started talking about Audit Guard and the importance of Audit Guard and Code Right and all these different services. And so I wanted to share that because I wanted to give people an encouragement that we are very much active here on the front end of helping folks learn this business, but even on the back end, all the support services that we have, and we help them step them right along the way with that. And it all starts with everything that we have right here: marketing, demos, support, tools, contracts, proposals, training, and coaching. So, Patrick, I think we've kind of got everything balled together here with everything that anybody's ever going to need to become successful in this particular business line.
Well, and it brings up the question, people raise it all the time, well, why is your license fee a certain particular figure that's about $27,000? It's because if you tried to build all of your marketing materials, have them designed and tested, professionally designed, if you had to do your own demos, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, we do those for you. If you needed support, what do you do if you don't have support, right? All the tools, contracts, proposals, all that, folks, is something we have in our package that you could not duplicate for 5 times our license fee. Right. So that's one of the reasons you don't want to try to reinvent the wheel. It's going to cost you more. So if you're intent on getting into the medical revenue management business, or sometimes referred to as medical billing, we can teach you how to do that. We've done it. And in fact, our instructor, which I'm going to show a little video clip later of Cynthia, you'll see she knows what she's talking about.
You bet. So let's first of all talk about that marketing, Patrick. I know that you've mentioned the marketing, and we've got marketing pieces, but it goes beyond just having printed material. You did say right off the bat that the material that we have is professionally crafted and it's professionally printed, and we've got postcards to help out with some certain types of mail marketing, but then it's again, how do you use these is part of the whole aspect of marketing.
That's a good point, Eric. For example, we're illustrating our postcard series there that we have, and that's built into our AutoCard automatic follow-up system. Those cards have been professionally designed to get response, and it's not that you couldn't mail them out yourself, but wouldn't it be nice just to have an automated system that behind the scenes does all your marketing for you? That's what we have here in AutoCard. It does all of your marketing and follow-up for you. So could you write and design and have it designed? So yes, but you could spend a whole lot of time and money doing that when you might come through our training next month. Well, it's actually coming up later this month, and have a client within 30 or 60 days, or even if it took you 90 days. Heck, Eric, if it took somebody 6 months to get a client, would that be worth this business? We know what they can make with every client that they sign up. It's more than what our license fee is. So, why wouldn't they go out and get that first client through our system? And then once that's out of the way, now, okay, I've made back my license fee with that first client. Now I'll just work the way ABS teaches me to get referrals from that doctor to all the doctors I want.
You bet. And folks, don't forget that while we're talking, if you've got any particular questions about any topic that we run across, please ask us a question. If it's something directly about the marketing material or anything that we've talked about so far, feel free to throw it in that question box, and I'm kind of monitoring that as we kind of go through there. The other thing is support, and we've had at least one gentleman that I know that's on the call today actually came by and visited with us and sort of saw some of the support that you actually get here. And one of them is the licensee support site. And that that whole site there is chock full of information that's available 24/7, which is going to be all your contracts and marketing, other marketing materials, training tools, if you're going to train certain people, any tools that you might need. Patrick, outside of the licensee support site, obviously we've got live support that happens every day, Monday through Friday, starting right here with ABS.
Yeah, phone, email, folks. You'll see we have real people that actually talk to you on the phone, and you're dealing directly with us because your success is our success. If you're wondering how we stay in business, once we've sold you the license, what's in it for us after that? Well, we have referral fees that come from our technology partners that are out there in the field that helped us build this whole system. And for every claim that you're sending in for the doctor, we're getting a small rebate from our technology partner. Now, that didn't come out of your check. It didn't come out of the doctor's money. That is something between us and our clearinghouse, basically, that happens behind the scenes. I'm telling you that up front. I don't have to tell people that, but I want you to know that there's a reason why we have lifetime support. It's because the more money you make, the more we make as a company.
You bet. Moving on to another part about not having to reinvent the wheel. Folks, you're not going to have to reinvent making proposals. We have your proposals. Everything's ready to go. You can see down, if you can see those little bitty prints down there at the bottom of those pages. Some of them say, licenseewebsite.com. So all of these would have all of your information tucked away on it, all the background of what you're able to put together. Very nice presentation folders there that you can see to the right. So we have all of that ready for you. And again, Patrick, you know that we've all kind of wanted to have some type of startup, and just the struggle of trying to make sure you're saying the right things and having the right proposals and the right material when you're going out there, because sometimes the part of it you want to have, I think what you kind of say, you want to have a top of the mind presence there at any of your potential clients.
Yeah, people think when they first hear about this, oh, well, how do I sign up a doctor? They think they're going to go out and knock doors, or something like that, or make phone calls. And folks, that doesn't work in today's world. You have to be completely automated. It's all digital now. It's all done completely different than the way it used to. And this is the system that we've worked out. We cover about a dozen different ways that we've learned works for actually contacting and marketing and connecting with doctors. And you'll hear all of that during that live workshop, of course.
You bet. You bet.
We've done whole webinars just on the marketing part. We also have done webinars on, just the support. And folks, you can get all of those previous webinars on our blog. Just go back to our AB Systems, absystems.com website. There's a blog on there. And just browse through those. We've got, Eric, we go back to like 2013 or something like that. It's a lot of data out there on our site.
Yeah, and so folks, you're going to find, all the things that we're talking about right now very specifically. But again, one thing you don't have to do to reinvent the wheel, again, are the service agreements. So we have all of the service agreements for you. They've been, Patrick, how often do you think that these service agreements have gone through attorneys?
Oh, there's no telling, but I can guarantee you're going to spend more than $27,000 just to have all your legal stuff done.
Yeah. I just paid an attorney to wrap up all of my trust and wills and everything, and that was pricey, and that was just not even close to what we have here for some of the stuff. The other part of not reinventing the wheel is not attending our training. Patrick, we talk about our training workshops quite often. We also talk about what you kind of get in the 5 days, but and that in and of itself creates some value. But Patrick, this is such a must that people come and attend this training workshop.
There's nothing like being with a group of like-minded people, especially people who are starting their business at the same moment you are. And by the way, most people who come through our training don't have any background in training, marketing. They don't have any background in the medical field or billing specifically. And so we basically, during this week, folks, give you a mini MBA in medical revenue management. And by the end of the week, more than 99% of all the doctors and office managers out there.
Did you happen to have a video that you wanted to kind of show about training that you might have ready?
Well, I do have that video, and I think I just got to find it here. So you go ahead while I look for that.
It's okay. I knew that you wanted to show a little brief part about the training there.
Yeah, I have it here somewhere. Sure. Let's see. I think it's got right here. Let's see if this will work. Okay. How do I get my screen back? I don't. Okay. Um, yeah. All right. So, Eric, sorry, I've lost it.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Well, if you find it, we'll play it maybe towards the end. But the other thing, folks,
it is live, you know.
it is live. You talk about live, we're talking about live demos. And folks, I mentioned to everybody just a moment ago, doing a live demo with a doctor yesterday. Got to speak with the doctor, the office manager, and it was so interesting that the lady who has been at least tasked at that moment to handle the doctor's billing, everybody in that room knew the best thing to do was to get the billing out of the doctor's office, including the lady that's doing the billing. She popped her head in there, Patrick, and she goes, "Stop, I want to see what you're doing here." And whenever she got engaged, she goes, if your company, because obviously we're working as the licensee there, is able to take a lot of this, she goes, it's going to free me up here at this office to help the doctor do so much more. That's one of those ones, Patrick, I wish I'd have just recorded, because it's just amazing to hear what happens on these demonstrations.
All right, so folks, look at the screen. You see illustrated there, what's happening is that that is our staff of demoers. Is that a good word? I don't know. Demoers.
Anyway, that's good.
Yeah, they're doing demos for our licensees for their prospective doctors. That's right. The doctor and their staff are looking at the screen. You can be at the office with them, of course, or you can be like the guy on the right there at your office watching the same thing you are right here. And we've got hundreds of people that can be on these webinars. So it's using technology. You position it as if it's a part of your team. And I mean, we are, right? You've bought into our licensing system. Our demoers are your demoers. And so you just basically tell the doctor, let me get this set up with my IT guy. That sounds like a good word, doesn't it? IT? Yeah.
IT, yeah.
Information technology. And say, look, I'll set this up with him. I'll give you the link and we'll get on there and we'll show you exactly the technology. The reason doctors love this is because they can identify with this type of thing. They're using some kind of software in their own office probably right now. But what we're going to show them is the electronic medical records. If they want to see that, we're going to show them our system and things that it can do that will blow them away. Isn't that right, Eric? They literally gasp sometimes.
I have to tell you, Patrick, and I'm going to give a little secret here. This doctor's office was using a platform called eClinicalWorks. And folks, if you'll see that, you'll hear about it. We got halfway through this demo, and the doctor says, you know what? I know I didn't want to see your EMR, but I do want to see your electronic medical records. Would you take some time? We took about 5-10 minutes of it. He says, you know what? I'd like to set up a complete webinar or demo just to see this all in action. He says, I'm loving everything. And here's the cherry on top of the ice cream here. The licensee wasn't even present. It was their sales rep that was there with that doctor.
Yeah, so the licensee, you folks can actually, we're going to teach you how to do this, of course. We have a whole system on how to find and hire and train and sell and pay for salespeople that work on a straight commission. Yep. So that guy was there in the office with the doctor because it was probably his contact. The licensee might have been at home, I don't know, watching it from there. It doesn't matter.
He was actually at work.
Oh, he was.
Yep. So it was so cool to be able to do all of that. So that was pretty exciting. So folks, you have all of this at your disposal with us. And that's why you don't want to try to, I know, Patrick, a lot of people say, well, I might be able to learn to do all of this and do it all myself. But folks, again, as you can see here, just another display of all the professional tools that we have. Patrick, we all have.
Here's a tool. Eric showed this and gave a preview of this is the new book. It's actually not published yet, but we're about to. This is just kind of a proof copy that we've got here. But folks, this book that I'm writing with Dr. Vicki Rackner is going to be a tool for you to use in your marketing. In other words, we put your name on the front cover as having written the foreword. We've actually written one that you can use, or you can write one if you want to. And we put your name and contact information inside the book. It's just unheard of.
Yeah.
And these books you will be using to give as a gift to the doctor. We teach you how to mark them up and put little tabs here on certain passages. And doctors read these things. I mean, they call up one licensee, handed out 2 of these in 1 week, Eric, to doctors, and both of them called her the next week and said, I was kind of reading through some of those quotes you had marked, and I think I may need that free practice analysis that you.
You bet. And folks, what we're showing you here, I mean, Patrick showed you the book. We have a trade show booth, whether you want to set it up at a full trade show, at a little organization you may have locally, maybe even get an opportunity to set it up at your Chamber of Commerce, your BNI meeting, any type of network meeting. Just use it for a little bit, just have it set up. If you've been asked to speak at one of those chamber meetings or a BNI meeting, coordinate that with us. We'll get this information to you, and it'll look like you've been in business forever. And when you need help, we have coaching, professional coaching, whether it's Dr. Rackner, whether it's Terrence Patterson, whether it's Janet Waller. She's a certified professional coder. And these are just expanses out from what we have with our normal live support that we already have here.
Yeah, think about it, folks. We're one of the rare companies out there that have lifetime support, but we're also one of the rare ones that actually have coaches that we actually engage with and pay to do coaching for our licensees. The reason we do that is because sometimes they're more specialized than we are. Look, we're not medical coders here, ABS, but we have a medical coder who's a certified medical coder that will work with our licensees. We've got a doctor that we've partnered with that you, in your business, can say that you've partnered with. Yes, we'll introduce you to her. She's even written an introductory letter that you can put your name on to introduce yourself to the doctors in your area. Imagine what that means to you to have that kind of credibility.
That certainly will bring a lot of credibility. And folks, speaking of Dr. Rackner, Patrick, you did an interview with her last week. So folks, if you haven't seen that one, I think that one was really, really great because she gave out some information I ain't even had heard her say before. So please go back and watch and rewatch that part of it. Patrick, we're coming down to the bottom of the hour if you can't imagine that. But folks, I'm watching any questions. There's no questions coming in. So hopefully we're answering your questions as we're going through. But that was the first tip. Don't reinvent. Yeah.
I know we got a lot to cover, but have you got just a minute to let me show this video clip? I found it here finally. I think I can get to it.
Go right ahead. I'll let you do that.
Let's do this. Why don't you, and stop showing your screen there. Good. And let's see. I think all I do now is slide this over here. All right, hold on now. I got it. It's coming. It's really, I have it here. Just when you want software to work, it doesn't. That's what's going on here. But here, I think it's coming right now. Ready? All right, folks, turn up your speakers. I'm going to turn this up, although there's not a whole lot, to hear. It's just a kind of a little promo thing that I did one time at the training. So you're going to get see a picture there of the actual training. So get back to your screen if you've been reading your email or something and watch this little short video and see if this doesn't get you excited. Okay, so this is Patrick Phillips. I'm the founder and CEO of American Business Systems, and we do live training, as you know, down here in Dallas. And so what I thought I would ask this particular class here this week is if they think that this opportunity is really still a good one that they would invest in. Is it, guys? Yeah! Now I paid a lot of money for these actors, so you guys need to pay attention to that. Okay, so this is Patrick Phillips. Sorry. I'm the founder and CEO of American Business Systems, and we do live training, as you know, down here in Dallas. And so what I thought I would ask this particular class here this week is if they... Sorry.
There you go. You got it. Now I think you just got to turn your video back on, Patrick. I think we're back. We'll be completely back on there. There we go. Oh, now you're just completely black and white. There we go. Perfect.
That was weird, wasn't it? I'm sorry. I couldn't get that going there. Oh well,
Not a problem.
I'm showing my background here too much now. There we go. You can see how the sausage is made today, folks.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, we
No
don't.
kidding. Get to see anything and everything. David finally says, finally got a quote in there. It says, sounds like your process covers all the bases. Is it possible to talk just a bit about the clearinghouse? And David, we're about to do that right
Yep.
now with tip number 2, because it is the clearinghouse in which that brings in a total profit product differentiation. So that's what we're going to jump right in here, because folks, you've got to know the last thing you want to do is to have something that is just the same of like everybody else out there in the marketplace.
Yeah.
If ABS was just giving you a very similar medical billing platform with similar marketing materials and all that, you would be right in line with everybody else. And we kind of got it illustrated with here with these light bulbs that are not turned on. But what we've got is something that obviously rises above anything and everything else, and that is our medical billing process, the iClaim EMR-X, and something that has to separate you from all else, and that is in the left-hand corner down there at the very bottom. That's our clearinghouse. And so the clearinghouse, think of it, folks, as the portal that gets you directly with each of the insurance companies. And I've just got to say this, Patrick, and I'll let you chat here a little bit. But whenever I explained this to this doctor, that office manager, and that biller that was in that office there yesterday, this was the thing that totally separated us from eClinicalWorks. They had never seen anything like it. They never saw anything as what I was able to show them of populating patient demographics directly from the insurance company and putting it in iClaim. They were telling me that they had to close down tabs and open up new windows and go to their personal clearinghouse and then go to another place to check insurance eligibility. And I showed them, I said, you never have to leave our screen. You never have to leave any iClaim at all. They were so impressed, Patrick. It was just phenomenally, a phenomenal success. Which again leads up to another demo with that doctor, which I have full confidence that this licensee is going to sign up that doctor. It is the clearinghouse, David, that really does separate us out. Patrick?
Yeah, in most medical billing systems, software systems out there, folks, you basically do all your billing, you batch all the files together at the end of the day, and you upload them to a clearinghouse. That's a third-party company that is set up to scrub it clean, make sure there's no errors, and forward it to each one of the insurance companies. We don't have that because we originally had a clearinghouse that then developed the software. So we have the clearinghouse function built right into our system. Our company owns that, and therefore it's unique to our ABS licensees. David, that's what makes you unique out there, is you have a complete advantage because you don't have to mess with those clearinghouses, which do a lot of rejections. By the way, their rejection rate is somewhere around 30%. For some doctors, we have ours down to less than 2%, which means more money in the doctor's pocket.
You know, Patrick, I've been kind of flipping that around a little bit, and it starts to make people a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Where I've been telling people that, you know, the doctors are only collecting anywhere from 60 to 70% of their money.
Right.
And because of our clearinghouse, we're able to capture nearly 98 to 99% of the doctor's money. And it's because, as what we've just got here, the clearinghouse catches these errors first and prompts you or us to help you make the corrections before they're ever submitted to the payers. Right. This is the unique difference in the marketplace that's different than any other medical billing services, because it does lower those rejections and it expedites those reimbursements.
And that turns into you're getting more money in for the doctor faster. Now, what doctor would not want to talk to you about that?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Jennifer, you're asking at this point, what kind of insurance will I need? Well, the insurances are all built into the clearinghouse, so there's not really a need of that. Question, what is the TAM of this industry and what is your market share? Fahad, why don't you, if you don't mind, asking that question, and we'll certainly help you out with that. David, with all the modern technology available, do you know why other companies do not have a clearinghouse feature? It is so powerful. Patrick, do you want to answer that, Patrick?
They don't want to spend the millions of dollars that it would take to do this. Folks, remember, we were the clearinghouse first. That's all we were doing. And
Right.
then we developed the software, you see. So we've already got the investment made. There's other companies who would literally have to spend millions to be able to duplicate what we have as a function. Doesn't mean that somebody couldn't do that, but folks, it's a huge advantage out there. You'll find that out when you talk to the doctors. Hey, we licensees end up signing up about half of all the doctors that we do those live demos for. So all you got to do is, it's the doctor that he should sit for a half hour and watch our demo. And once we get through, believe me, they love it.
You bet. So David, really, again, one of those things that we're talking to you about is, and the uniqueness about it is that there are clearinghouses out there. There are several clearinghouses out there, and they're making all of their money because they're tied in. All these other doctors and medical billing companies are using all different types of softwares and everything else, and so they get all of that money attached in there. So for them, it's a cash cow. So they're not going to be changing anything about the way that they do business. It was just so that 20 years ago, the two doctors that are the brainchild of the iClaim, the clearinghouse, and EMRX decided at the beginning of their clearinghouse, they decided to build a medical billing platform on top of it, and that's why we are where we are today. So there's really not going to be anything that's going to be changing differently there. So again, it added to that, not only do you have iClaim, EMRX, the clearinghouse, but again, Patrick, a clearly beautifully set patient portal. And obviously, we don't have the time today, but just like you and I are doing a video chat with everybody today, the doctor and the patient can have a e-visit right through the patient portal.
Right. Yeah. Some people refer to that as telemedicine. Folks, it probably is the future, because there's a lot of times you go to the doctor and he never touches you. You don't need to do anything but sit there and talk. And you can do that just like Eric and I are doing right now, right? So we have that built into this portal. You can set an appointment with a doctor who's set up doing this. Some of them are not doing live consultations, but they could if they wanted to. And yes, it's billable. And so that's probably the future. I mean, imagine if you could pay $50 to have a telemedicine session with a doctor versus $150 to go see them in person. And there's no difference other than they can't touch you, which I like that part.
So you folks, going back to what Fahad was saying, he helped explain its total addressable market.
I've never heard that term. Yeah. Remember, Fahad, we're college dropouts here, so we don't.
So, and I put this screen up here, Fahad, for the purpose of answering your question. The uniqueness of what you're seeing right here, patient portal, the EMR or electronic medical records, iClaim and clearinghouse, everything that you see in the middle and to the left is all one unit. This is not 4 separate programs. It's not 4 separate companies. This is all one unit. And for the market share out there, the market share has only been tapped into barely, because the majority of the doctors that you're going to find out there in the marketplace are not using this setup. Well, and since we don't,
but to another company, but we'll show you how to go in and take over those types of accounts. Believe me, we have that happen all the time.
Yeah.
Or they're doing it in-house.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the two things. So people ask me all the time, well, how are you guys signing people up when doctors are either doing it themselves or they're outsourcing it? I go, well, you need to see a demo. And folks, if you haven't seen a demo, you need to get back with the person who sent you the email to this webinar and say, I want to see a live demo. We'll set that up with you one-on-one. Half hour, 45 minutes, an hour. We've got people that get on there and they think they're going to spend 20 minutes and they spend hour and a half. So you'll like it. You'll have lots of questions, but you will be blown away by the technology. And it'll kind of, and haven't you had that happen, Eric, with some people who are looking to be licensees? They've seen the demo and they go, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, they do. It kind of just clicks. So, matter of fact, David's been asking some questions. David and I are having a demo tomorrow. So, folks,
good.
we'll get with you. We'll schedule these. We'll spend the time that we need to do that. All right. Speaking of time, we got about 20 minutes to get through 2 more tips here. Okay. This one's so critical, Patrick, because I know what a lot of people are thinking. They're thinking, if I could just get a doctor before I come to class, I'm in 100%.
Yeah, so they want to do pre-marketing before they come down. Yeah, and that is a mistake. You're right. That's because you don't know not to pre-market. And because really, guys, when you think about it, we're going to show you how to contact the doctors in your area. But if you start going and talking to doctors before you know the answers, you're going to look, well, like you don't know what you're doing. Nobody wants to do business with people who don't know what they're doing, right? So wait till you go through the training. We give a 100% money back guarantee at the end of the week. If you don't like it, you get your money back. So then go back and talk to the doctor. You'll have all the answers, or at least you'll have somebody like us that you can pick up the phone and we can answer it.
Yeah, and because leads are so precious. Obviously, folks, you've probably you've heard us on some other webinars. We don't give out leads. Patrick, we know that there are no doctors on their computer at nighttime trying to figure out, hey, can I find a medical biller? And then there's this list of generated leads or paid leads that you can go out there. And doctors are not hanging a sign out there on their front of their lawn and saying, hey, I'm really bad at collecting money. Can somebody please help me? Doctors are just too prideful for doing that. So there's no lead list, there's no generated, there's no paid lead. So if you come across a lead, you've got something there that you don't want to burn up, is what I'm saying.
That's right. Don't burn up your leads by going and talking to them before you come to our workshop. Hey, by the way, Fahad, the total market, possible market that's out there for us is there's about 1 million medical providers in the United States. About half of those are working for hospitals and other half for themselves. So you got about 500,000 doctors in any given area. That means there's literally, I mean, just do a Google of doctors, put in general practitioners in, Dallas or wherever you're at. Man, you'll see it's a huge market. Now, having said that, Eric's right. We don't provide lists because the lists mean nothing. A list is a list. You can get that off of Google. We bought a list. We have a list. You can have some names if you want them, but folks, we only have a small percentage of the doctors that are out there. So as far as our market share, Fahad, it's probably less than 2%.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's wide open out there.
Maybe 1%. I mean, when you think of all the doctors that are out there, all the different software and different billing companies and things, folks, we haven't even scratched the surface of this market. And there's doctors switching to us from other medical billing companies every day. Right. So it's just doctors graduating every year. I mean, it's a huge market. The medical industry, by the way, is about 1/5 of the entire U.S. economy. So it's big.
It's huge. So again, while you're thinking about about pre-marketing. Now, again, folks, we're not telling you don't go out there and start talking with people. You just got to be careful, because if you start to get engaged very specifically with an office manager or a doctor, you may run into some issues here, because obviously you don't know what we're showing you here. Now, you can learn a little bit about it right here. It's called revenue cycle management, but that's about it. And a lot of times you're not going to know the medical terminologies of certain things like HIPAA. You might know about that because you kind of just heard about it, but what is a CPT code? What are some of the things that what's HPI stand for? And
it's worse than the government. The medical they have acronyms all over the place.
Yeah.
But we teach you everything you need to know. In fact, again, during that week of training, we start out with terminology on the first day, and you will know more than most doctors' offices and managers by the end of the week, believe me.
Right.
Here's that practice analysis I mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't know the questions to ask. But we've got this in a 3 or 4 page practice analysis. We could literally just hand this out to people right now, and you'd know exactly what to do. Right. But that's kind of giving away some of the things that people have paid for. So obviously you can kind of see a little bit about this, and then take that and put it into practice. You just don't have these tools that's going to help you prepare yourself, and obviously you don't have anything to back you up. Patrick, I've known some folks that have gone out there and they go, I've done a lot of due diligence. I've seen your demos. Eric, I love everything you do. Start going out there and talking about it. And all of a sudden the doctor says, okay, well, let's get started. And they're calling me up and going, now what do I do?
Yeah. Yeah. So folks, you can't go out and sell or market or demonstrate anything in business until you're in that business, or you're going to be sorry, because there's going to be people who. Now, there have been folks come to training, Eric. I have heard people tell me at the workshop, I talked to my doctor about this just to see what he thought. He was interested and said, well, let me know as soon as you get back. So I've got an appointment with him, as soon as I get back. So it does happen. But again, and you don't have, again, like Eric's pointing out here, folks, you don't have this system either. I mean, if you started your own medical billing business or went with any other company that might set you up, you don't have these components right here. And this is the key to our licensees' success. This is why we have licensees making six-figure incomes. This is why we have a whole list of licensees that are willing to take phone calls from people like you looking to get into business. They don't feel threatened at all. They know there's plenty of business out there. And some of them have offices, Eric. If you arranged it, you could go visit those people. So don't take our word for it on these webinars. We're just pushing you towards the people who've already been through our training, done their due diligence, and spent the money.
Fahad, you're asking another question. What is the average revenue per practice? Well, that's going to depend upon whether it's a general practitioner, internal medicine, a specialist, or like that. But on average, a revenue is going to be generated per practice anywhere from $50,000 to $60,000 a month, generating for you, if you're charging 6%, $3,000 to $3,600, maybe $4,000 a month in just revenue for you with one doctor. But we break that down and give that to you. And George, you said, if I have a lead before training, could you assist us with the possible sale? You bet. As soon as you fill out the paperwork and you finalize your funding, because I'm actually working with somebody right now who's attending the training here in July. He already has a potential lead. We're already working with them, but again, they've completed all their paperwork. They've paid up. They're ready to come to training. Absolutely, we would love to help you out as well. And then lastly, you just don't have the support, and we've already kind of talked about that. So, Patrick, with the last 15 minutes here, I know we're getting to the last tip, and you and I always want to add new information and add more information to what we're talking about. And this is kind of your specialty. I mean, this is one of the things that you started off a long ago, prior to really doing a lot of things even with ABS, and you've written a book about it. But basically, tip number 4 is do not fear failing. I know it's kind of hard to say there, but basically, fear of failure undermines our ability to succeed. So why don't you kind of take it from here and maybe address some things of what you've learned and what you've written about in one of your books?
Yeah, let me grab that book.
Sure.
Okay. So, folks, you've seen this book on some of our webinars, at least this one. We showed this book. This is called How to Reprogram Yourself for Success. Now, I wrote this several years back because I was going through the same thing in my head. I couldn't quite wrap my head around success. And so before my wife started doing this billing and got it up and running, I started thinking about what's going on inside my head is probably holding me back more than the things going on around me. And so failure to fear of failure is what undermines the ability to succeed to some great degree. We have this massive negative voice that's in our head. It's very loud. It's very unruly. Yes, see, there's your wife right there, guys. That's supposed to illustrate the voice inside your head. We all talk to ourselves all the time, right? Something's going on inside your head right now. I wonder when these guys are going to shut up and let me take a break. And so whatever's going through your head is very important. That's what the book is all about. We give you a copy of this book, of course, when you join us. I tell you what, Eric, I'm going to do something I don't think I've done before. I'm going to give people that are on this webinar that's hung in here a copy of our book electronically. I'm going to go find it here and drop it right in the handout section right now. Yeah, they can go get it right now.
So now we're just going to give it to you straight up here, and as he does that. So, folks, again, these are some of the thoughts. I mean, if you kind of go back and look at this picture here, because obviously a picture is worth 1,000 words. We've known that forever. But you're probably sitting there thinking, you know what? Everything looks great. If I could just get this doctor, I think this would be the right business for me. But what's what's stopping you here and what's giving you this stopping part of it is that you're thinking, I'm just not going to succeed. And folks, we want you to know that you can succeed. That's why we give a money back guarantee at the end of training, because we know these are the things that you're talking to yourself about, that you're not good enough, you're maybe not smart enough, you're not capable enough to succeed.
Right.
You know, you're going to spend $27,000 and I'm never going to get a doctor. Obviously, we know this, Patrick, you know this, that if we keep telling ourselves, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Well, that's a good point, Eric. Folks, if you think about it, what's stopping you right now from making the decision to go ahead and put your funds together and come to our training is probably because you are afraid, well, what if I never get a doctor? Now, so I'm gonna boil that down to you real simple. There's at least $500,000 doctors out there that need your help.
Yeah.
That's a lot of doctors. No matter where you live in the country, there's doctors. Now, you may have to drive out a little ways around your city, maybe. That's okay. The point is, let's assume that you could get your first doctor. Do you believe me when I tell you that the doctors will tell other doctors and the referrals will build your business? Eric, I've had people on the testimonials that I've got on the blog where I've interviewed them after they built their business up to a certain point, and I asked them, would you do this again? Yeah, they said, I've done nothing but what you told me to do to get my first client, and all the others just kind of came from referrals, and that's a good place to be in business when you get to that point. So here's what it goes down to, folks. Then all that's stopping you is one doctor, because you can't think about, I want a dozen doctors. All you want is one. One can make you, as Eric said earlier, $25,000 to $35,000 a year. So how many of those do you need to make a good living? And so the great thing is that there's no territories. And so your territory is the whole United States. And believe me, doctors know other doctors in other states. That happens all the time. We've got licensees that have never met most of their clients. They're all over the country. Yeah.
Patrick, I got this one, and as I was building this webinar today, I just thought this was great, because what happens is as you keep thinking these things, you keep thinking all these what-if scenarios, which create stress and anxiety. And I found this, I said, this is exactly what's happening. The more I think, the more confused I get.
Yeah. Hey, that book, that ebook that I promised you is in the handout section of your control panel. So go look for that, because we're going to wrap up here pretty quick.
Yeah.
Eric, I got to run as I normally do, because I got a 5 o'clock thing that's standing, but I've got a few minutes here.
Very good. Well, we're going to get through this, and this is really the last thing, Patrick. And folks, if people can just get out of their own comfort zones and they stop thinking and overthinking and just, and again, we're not trying to either on our side trying to convince you of something that you may not should be doing in the first place. But
That's right.
What are you going to be outside of just maybe a week of your time, your travel, a hotel stay, to just join us here at the live training workshop? You can only get so much from sitting on our webinars, watching live demos. You got to come experience it, and in that way you'll know that you will make the decision if you want to step out of that comfort zone, because truly at the end of that week you can certainly ask for your money back.
Yeah. And folks, we've done that. We've given people money back over the years. It's a handful, but I mean, it has happened. And the point is that you'll know, Eric, people know halfway through this week, don't they?
Yeah.
Whether this is really something they want to do or not. And man alive, guys, you should see some of the testimonials. Well, go out there to our blog. You'll see one we posted here recently of the last class and what they said at the end of the class. Now, you can't tell from the end of the class how successful anybody's going to be, but believe me, they're all very positive that this was good training, a good business to be in. There's a huge potential, and again, they don't ask for the money back, so that tells you a lot right there.
Yeah. Well, we've covered those 4 tips, Patrick, and hopefully, if you haven't yet, you can download the entire presentation that we had today. Go download that ebook, How to Reprogram Yourself for Success, and start reading about it. And then I've got my little, Patrick gave this to me just about a week ago. And at the end of the class, you're going to get this. It's your key to success.
Yeah, kind of hold that and move it around a little bit there. Get a little closer. Well, as you can see, folks, that's actually a gold key with our logo on it. And as you can tell, it's an USB. So on that is over 20 hours of more training and self-talk scripts to motivate you once you've left the training class. So Eric, speaking of leaving, I got to run. Thank you so much for putting this together. I am amazed that people don't realize we almost didn't do this one because we lost the file. It got lost out there in the cloud or something. Anyway, thank you for doing all this.
You bet. Thanks so much, Patrick. We'll be talking with you soon. Folks, I'm going to wrap up here with some of the questions that have kind of come in towards the end. But hopefully you've gotten a lot out of today's presentation. Again, Patrick and I are not trying to sell you anything. What we're trying to do is give you information that will help you make a wise choice for you, your future, and for your family. And obviously, I think we've hit on a couple of things today that have hit home. And we want you to know we understand those things. So whether you're ready to move forward and get in this July class, or whether you want to take a little bit more time and just make sure before you even take that leap of coming to the training class, please take your time, because again, we want you to have made the right decision. So this is why we do what we do. We invest our time, even prior to this, of building the webinars and getting everything, all the topics together, several hours every week just to provide this information for you in order that it helps you hopefully make some of the wisest and best decisions. So we do appreciate you joining us and visiting with us this afternoon. Now, again, there's a couple of people that have asked some questions, and we were towards the end, and I knew Patrick had to leave. So let me kind of pull these questions up here and go through those. And if I see any more, then I'll certainly get those to you. Okay, so May, you asked the question, can we get some licensees, their contact numbers, those who are already successful in the business? You bet. Just get back with your business coach. We've got a list. We've got really a really long list, but you only need to talk to 2 or 3 folks. If you can't get in touch with them, please let us know. They're busy folks. I mean, they're running their own business, but yet some of them will be able to take their time to have those conversations with you. So again, absolutely. Saeed, you said how frequently are the training courses / onboarding sessions are held every year? We actually do these training courses about anywhere from 6 to 7 weeks apart. That gives us about, 7 to 8 training courses a year. We've got this one in July. Once we've wrapped up this one here in July, I think we only have 3 or 4 training sessions left for this year because there's one complete month that we skipped. So if you think about it, we've got July and August, because that kind of gets bunched up in there. And then we have one in September, one in October, and then I think one in December. So really there's only about 3 classes, training classes left. So, again, there are going to be doctors out there that are going to need your help. Just like the doc that I did yesterday with someone that was one of our licensees. So again, we want you to get into the classes that's the quickest and the best for you. May, if this is in Maryland, this would be really great to know more about the business. So, there are some licensees in that particular area, in that particular part of the world, that we'll get that out there. Yeah, Kent, it is really a cool gift, because really there's some, Patrick just offered you the book, How to Reprogram Yourself for Success. He actually had gone in the studio and just had some, made some recordings of just some things that we just need to reprogram our thinking. So it's, you might think it's kind of corny, but it actually helps, to get you back in that mode of what you need to do. May, and you said could not download the PDF document. Can we get these PDFs in an email? Yes. If you are having trouble with either the PDF of the links today or the slides, and if you're having trouble downloading the PDF of the book, please get back with us. We'll be happy to get you a copy of this. Obviously, we can't keep up with everybody, but please ask your business coach there, and we'll be happy to do that. I'm going to put up here again, this is just our statement of the 100% money back guarantee, that you have it. It's basically the same thing you'll see in the purchase agreement. If you want to see that, maybe you're still thinking whether you want to do this or not. Again, just ask for the purchase agreement. We'll get it, let you read it, take it to your attorney or CPA or the friends that you trust to read over it. You can certainly look at it from there. One more question here came in from Saeed. How difficult is it to get the licensees with all of your training and support? How difficult it is to get the license with all of your, hopefully I'm understanding your question correctly, but if you're wanting to get in touch with support, it's very easy. If you're asking how difficult it is to talk with some licensees, we'll make it as easy as possible. So however your questions are being asked, we're going to make it as easy as possible for you to do business with us. So hopefully that'll help you out. If you want to, again, I've got another gentleman that's on here today that actually came and visited with us last week, and I certainly appreciated the opportunity for him coming by. And he'll recognize the business, the building there, and we do have offices in this building suite. I mean, this is not everything of ABS, obviously, but we're in one of those bigger offices in that area. So we'd love for you to come by. We're at 5751 Kroger Drive here in Fort Worth, Texas. We have a real live office with people and desk and everything else that goes along with that. All right, to wrap up this afternoon, couple of things. Again, our live training workshop is July the 30th through August the 3rd. You should have known that by now. I've kind of been going over that quite often. And then, folks, this is going to be a wonderful webinar for anybody considering coming into our training workshop. And let me tell you why. Patrick's going to be interviewing Cynthia Anderson, and he has not interviewed her in quite some time because she's a very, very busy lady. She is a licensee. She has been with us for 10 years. But not only is she that, she is the lady that does the training at our workshop. And so she's going to be talking about questions about the workshop. So if you've got questions and you want to talk with the trainer, next Wednesday is that opportunity. So I'm going to put in the chat box. So if you look over there in the chat box, I'm going to go ahead and give you the link. The link to join for the webinar for next Wednesday is already in your chat box. So you're going to want to be on that webinar and ask your questions. Just think that you're right there in training. You've got the CEO of American Business Systems. You have Cynthia Anderson, who is our trainer. You can't get a better combination than that to help answer some of your questions. So feel free to come with some of your questions, and we'll just do whatever we can to help you with any and all of your questions as needed. So I'm going to leave that up there for just a little bit. And then, folks, again, it has been my pleasure this afternoon to help you just discover a little bit more about the business opportunity, about Patrick, about me, about the rest of the business here at ABS. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to leave this up a little bit longer just so that you can download those couple of handouts. I look forward to seeing you, if not in one of our training workshops, at our next webinar next week. Thank you so much. I look forward to talking with you soon.